Hi guys, today you are going to learn how to make infinite money, and it's only going to take around a minute. I'm Gigaqian, and welcome back to the series on the Federal Reserve. Now, in order to understand the mechanics of infinite leverage, you have to understand how trust companies worked at the turn of the 20th century. Remember, trust companies worked somewhat akin to banks. They held deposits, they made loans, they provided services for security purchasing, but they operated outside of the restrictions of traditional banks. Nowadays, it would be akin to what's called shadow banking, which the services are provided by entities like hedge funds, money market funds, and other financial groups that are outside of banking. So let's talk call loans, the infinite money hack. These trust companies would give out a loan that needed to be repaid within a day. Once you have that loan, say you're a stockbroker and you buy some stock, you can then offer that stock as collateral and get another longer term loan that is simply called back as necessary, hence call loan. You then use the lended capital to repay your original loan with the trust companies and do it all over again, rinse and repeat. It's somewhat similar to a modern repo agreement that you hear about in shadow banking. Now, obviously, the danger with these call loans is that they can be called at any time, which leads us to the Panic of 1907. Our friend from last time, Charles Barney at the Knickerbocker Trust, had two associates, F. Augustus Hines and Charles Morse. Charles Morse was the ice king of New York. He was a monopolist. Augustus worked in copper, and he wanted to corner the market on the United Copper Company. Corner the market just meant a short squeeze. So a lot of people were short selling the stock for this company, and they were going to buy as much as possible so that the short sellers would have to buy back the stock. The problem for Hines and Morse is that this time the short sellers actually won. You see, they found alternative sources for the stock and kept selling into their buy pressure and caused the stock to plummet. Now, when the stock for a big company with all eyes on it starts to fall, other stocks might fall. People panic. When the value goes down, the call loans come into play, right? Because people aren't able to pay back. Their collateral is worth less. You have bank runs compounded by call loans. This led to the stock market dipping more than 50% in a single day. Enter JP Morgan. Now, in 1895, on the request of Grover Cleveland, he had already bailed out the economy due to the Panic of 1893. He essentially used a Civil War era loophole to buy a ton of gold with his friends and then use the value to bail us out, a bailout. Now, in 1907, he had to come and do it again, this time with a broad syndicate of international investors and his own money, injecting it directly into the stock market and even making loans. The problem with all of this is it led to the question, how much power does that guy have if he can bail out the entire United States economy, not once, but twice? This concern would lead to what we now know as the Federal Reserve.